for the light right now and for my voice because I am kind of sick. But anyway, I am doing part 3 today of embroidering our Carhartt hat for my granddaughters. I know it's upside down because I have it turned inside out, but that's how it would look if it was on the cuff, if it was turned up. So I broke this up into 3, probably in 4 parts because I want to do each part of it so you could just stop, get it done, and then go back to it. So you don't have to like watch a whole, 2-hour video just to get the whole gist of it. So, but I am desperately trying to get it done before Christmas. So I am Dory. I'm here in Idaho. And this is my channel, Prairie Scraps, so welcome. So I'm just going to put you down. I have a new angle, hopefully, and this angle hopefully will help us out a little bit better. I kind of went back. It was okay, but not the greatest. So I apologize. I'm trying to figure out how to do this. There we go. I think this will work. And if you have any questions or anything, please feel free. I've got my information down below. Feel free to... contact me on text if you want to ask me a question. Just tell me what you're asking me a question about. If you didn't just notice that, I always keep all my flosses and even sometimes my little snips inside of the hat. So I have it all together and then it makes it portable. I can take it where I want to. So we are going to add some greens to this. So the first video I did on this, we did the Lazy Daisies in the bright pink. And then last video, number 2, we did these cute little pink, light pink roses. So now I've got a piece of kind of bright green because I think it's fun for kids to have the brighter colors. Excuse me. I am like digressing here today. So it's the day before Christmas Eve. So just trying to get this all done. So I'm going to come up right next to one of the roses, and I try to start my threads or my flosses the first time closer, like the one that's farthest in, because then it puts the extra knots and everything farther away from the cuff. This looks to me, it's so weird. It's such a weird angle for me. All right, so I'm just going to assume you can see. I'm hoping it's going to come through. Okay, so I'm just coming up, and I'm actually going to make 3 straight stitches, or back, actually they're called back stitches, because you go up as far as you want, and then come back, and to that, basically that same hole, I'm going to do 3 of them to make a set of greens that kind of just goes this way. And this will be the end of it. And I'm going to come back up in the same hole. Just like that. And this is going to be the top leaf of the greens. No luck, huh?
No.
Okay, I'm live. There was what?
No signal anywhere. I
Can't call?
can't call.
What is that?
It's like, it's kind of a yellowish
Oh,
brown.
darkening panels, but it'll be like the really thick material we have in our bedroom. Go check our curtains. Oh, no,
It wasn't
you can't.
that thick.
It wasn't?
Mm-mm.
It looks like, what is it, like tablecloth, though? Okay,
Yeah.
so we're going to go, so I came up in this one, so I'm going to go back down in that one. I'm going to put my, again, as if I was doing that back stitch, sort of, just the same distance. And then I'm going to wrap this around, just like we did for the Lazy Daisies, and come through. And that's going to be the top leaf on the top of my greens. And so I'm going to just secure that down by going just above it. And then I'm going to come back up at the end of the last back stitch. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do a Lazy Daisy coming off the side there. This, I don't know. I know a lot of patterns like draw this out, but it's so simple to just kind of go like this. And it's okay if it doesn't turn out perfectly every time. You know, nothing in nature is absolutely perfect. Okay, so this one's gonna be this getting it down, attaching it down. I'll go down to this side and be sure you're getting your tail out. I'm gonna do a third one here. And sometimes I can't fit this third one, it just depends. These patches are not equally spaced and they're not equal sizes every time. So sometimes it turns out. So I'm going to attach that down, going down just inside, and I'm going to turn it and come back up in the hole, same hole, basically. Something's catching, so I'm just making sure it kind of goes through. And these, remember, you can go underneath them and just sort of go like this and get them to kind of sit how you want them to sit. And then I'm going to go back down into that same hole and make a leaf out this way. So I have leaves. Basically, this is a little 5-leafed green that's going to go here. And I'll continue doing this all the way around. And like I said, sometimes it's not as big. Sometimes it'll end up being like a 3 or 4 leafed. I try to do odds because if you know anything about decorations, you always want to go with, oops, I need to go back. I was getting excited. Excuse me. Go back down, come back up in that same hole. Can you see? I might have to do this like where I can watch it on my... And then, sorry if it goes out. It's really hard because I have bifocals, so I can't see the video and this at the same time because it's facing downwards, so. Oops. I got that tangled around. I'm just going to start over on that. So I'm going to go around, hold it, pull it through, and then secure that last leaf down. That one kind of ended up big, so I'll pull it. Oh, not that small. You could kind of change it a little bit by just, you know, pulling more through or less through. My daughter's trying to make a Snow White costume for my granddaughter for Christmas, and we thought we had it, but as it turns out, we did not have enough yellow fabric. We thought we'd figured out a way. All right, so this last one, I'm just going to go back down and secure that in. And you see I have a long tail, and I'll come back where I just wove the ends of all the long tails underneath there. Okay, so I just need to now weave underneath the patch to the next empty space. I'm going to try a new angle. I feel like this... There we go. I don't know. I'm going to have a new phone coming up in the next couple of days, so that should be much better cameras. Although I have a perfectly good camera out in the camper that is not hooked up to anything because the computer stopped working. All right, there we go. Wove it underneath. Make sure we're coming up in the same spot. And this one you could kind of see where the edge of that patch is. And we're going to come up. Like that. And again, I'm going to make those back stitches first, which gives kind of I like to do the back stitches first because it gives me, oops, that was not big enough. We're going to ignore that one. That was dumb. Everything is fixable. It's no worries. Okay. There we go. another back stitch. So you just go forward the amount and then go back down into the last place you were at the stitch. And we're just doing 3 of those, and they're about, I would say, 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to come back up in the original hole that I just came out of. And then bring it up. And then about the same length as our back stitches have been, and that's going to be the leaf with that lazy daisy. There's lots of different things you could do for leaves. There's, you know, lots of different options, but I like to take this one. It tacks it down. It looks nice. It's fast. I think that's the biggest thing. When you buy a Carhartt hat and it costs $20, especially if you're trying to do this for profit, you know, like to sell them, it's hard to buy you know, they just do not really go on sale ever. So you want to make it profitable. You don't want to be working on it for 2 or 3, 4 hours trying to make fancy leaves. So, not that these aren't fancy, but I think they're, you know, I like how they look. It would be my preference no matter what, but I'm kind of a non-fussy type of girl. So I'm tightening it down, go back down through the hole, and then back to my stitch over here. And again, I'm really sorry about the way I sound, and I'm hoping this turns out. I keep trying new views, so hopefully one of them will be the best view. We'll see. And then that's the third one on there. So there's 1 on the end and then 2 on each side. So we're going to go secure this first. Sometimes I just keep flipping it around so that I can see the best angle. And, you know, if this was in a hoop, I wouldn't want to do this in a hoop because it would stretch the knit and not make your stitches very easy. They won't be very movable. It'll either stretch out your stitches or make them so tight down that they're not moving with the fabric. So the idea is you want it to be moving with the fabric. So we'll see how this looks once we get these greens on here. I do need to still go back and do some French knots in the center of my lazy daisies. And a lot of times with these flowers, if there's some like empty spots, I enjoy putting a couple of French knots throughout. Oops. That one I don't like. I put it in the wrong place. It should go. You'll have to excuse my skirt. Look at that. I went in the top leaf spot instead of... So I'm going to just try to back it up here. Sometimes you want to avoid trying to pull too much out on these hats because it does kind of pull at the strings a little much, and so I don't like the results of that. And I had one really tight right. I had actually, remember I said at the beginning of my second video, make sure you know which way is up. Little DNA here. Remember which way is up on the Carhartt hat. I was doing mountains and trees, and I started with the trees, and I got the trees on one side and realized I put them on upside down. So I had to take it out. Well, in taking it out, I ended up like cutting a little tiny nip in the hat, and, you know, regrets. All right, I should have been back here. I came up here thinking I needed to do one here. I'm going to actually slide it up a little bit because this other one to the right kind of went in a different place. It doesn't have to exactly be at the junction where you put the back stitch, but that's kind of what I use for a guide, so it looks sort of uniform. But sometimes you just have to use your own discretion and maybe put it in. Now this is getting a little too short, so I'm going to go ahead and tie this off. So I like to go back to the last stitch and run my needle underneath that for the knot, and then I go through that loop twice to give myself a little knot just to secure it, and then I also will now stitch it underneath the other stitches until I get to the patch, behind the patch, and then just freely run underneath it, pull it through, and then clip it. And we need another piece. So this, I'll tell you, this is the number. It's kind of a brighter green. I got a big pack of DMC floss at Hobby Lobby, and they're such bright colors. I thought it would be good. So this is 716 is the number on it. So that's a DMC floss. But I struggle getting those unless I'm doing kids ones. Okay. So you get the idea how we're going to put those greens on. I will finish up and do this one and this one. And I'll come back on to do those French knots. I have to decide what color and where to put them. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe and hit the thumbs up and like buttons. Appreciate y'all. Excuse me. Remember, this is my crafting channel, so any support you can give me, that would be great. I've got all my information down below. If you feel free to text me if you are interested or if you have any questions or whatever. And let me know down below in the comments what you think. Have a blessed night and keep on crafting.